Okay, okay, we've got Raquel here from scrapcosy. Hi Raquel.
Hello.
She's going to show you guys how to make this. Oops, we've got loads of reflection. Hang on a minute. Oh, there we go. So it's a really cool tag that she's made, and she's got a really great technique using the grunge paste and creating a really cool shadow effect. So let's get started, Raquel.
Okay, so basically the first thing that you do is getting some ink to create your shadow. So I'm using the Distress Vintage Photo Archival. I don't want it to move, so that's why I'm using Archival. So you apply a first layer, which is very dark, and that will be your shadow. Make sure that stencil doesn't move. Okay.
So this is straight onto a tag. You haven't prepared the tag in any way.
Yeah, it's just plain paper. That's it. Okay, so that's the background that we will apply the grunge paste at the very end.
Okay.
So the next step is applying. I'm going to apply also these stamps. Yeah, these are from the new collection, and I will be using Distress Oxide Vintage Photo.
Okay.
So, and then I'm using a technique that it's called like smudge, if you want to call it that way.
Smudge technique.
Yes, because the Distress Oxide is a mix of pigment and dye, and the pigment is the thing that takes longer to dry. So what I'm going to do is basically smudge the stamped image. The dye will keep all the detail from your image, but the pigment will move around. So you will be able to color your tag, apply some color, but still you can see the background.
So deliberately smudging it.
Yep. So you start coloring everything with that. So I'll do the same with different images from the same set.
Hey Tammy.
So I'll use this one here. And that's what we will start doing. So just stamping. And before it dries, you smudge it. And don't be afraid to smudge it. Really, the dye will stay there. The quicker you do it, the more that you can smudge. And we're going to use also this one, which is a ship.
So all of these stamps that Raquel has got, they're all nautical sort of theme. So lots of seaside, there's fish, there's coral, there's a ship, compass, loads of different nautical images, which are really fun.
And for this one I recommend that you check the horizon on the front, and then you paint where the horizon is.
Okay.
So then you know where it is, and it doesn't happen what it happened to me. It's not straight.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the final stamp, I will use this one.
The compass.
Yeah, the compass. I'll check where the north is, just because I want to make sure that it's up. Okay. And then I'm just stamping that there.
So you would stamp that, and then you would build around that using these.
Okay. And same. Smudge. And once it's there, I'm going to apply a little bit more of ink, just directly into the tag by using this sponge dauber. Okay. And I like to apply it from the outside of the tag, so then my borders become a bit more dark, and then that frames everything.
So she's got this really cool trick at the end that she's going to show you now using grunge paste.
Just the final thing with the Distress, just if you apply very little drops, then you get the Distress effect. Then you just heat set it up a little bit. And do we have the paper towels? Okay, so I'm just going to plop it. Ideally, if you heat set it, then you will get a much dramatic effect, but that's okay for now. So now we are going to apply the grunge paste on top.
I'm gonna go with something.
So you need the stencil back, and what you do to cast a shadow, basically you lift it and shift it.
Okay.
So then it's basically not in the right position, let's say.
So it's just slightly offset.
Yeah. The more you offset it, the more shadow you'll get. But
Yeah.
So then for the grunge paste to actually work very nicely, it's better if you, how do you get it? Stir it?
Stir it, yeah.
Yeah, so then it becomes fluffy. And then you just go into your
I put it in maybe
tag
4 or 5.
and apply a layer.
Put too much on, I usually take it off.
So grunge paste is a texture paste, and it's a bit like a plaster type product. So you can sand it if you want, but before you lift that off, Raquel, I just want to show one thing. You can also add texture to it. So if before you lift off your stencil, if you like tap it with your finger, it will create a sort of dimension, and that's really cool if you want to come over the top later with, like infusions or other types of ink. It will pick up that texture and just gives it a lovely rough sort of look to it.
Okay, and then we lift, and there you go.
So there you go, finished tag. So that will dry. Grunge paste is really fast to dry, and it will probably take in this atmosphere about like maybe 10 minutes max, but you can dry it with a heat tool. So that's a really cool technique, and I love how Raquel gets the shadow by putting the archival ink underneath. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Thank you, Raquel.
Thank you. Cool. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. So see you in the next one. Bye.